Hello everyone, my name is Blake. I am an artist based in Denver, Colorado, and I'm here to answer the question, do expensive art materials work better? I have a set of pastels that I've been using for about 2 years now from Faber-Castell, and I just upgraded to some new Sennelier pastels, oil pastels, and I really wanted to do a little comparison video. So let's get into swatching, let's get into some blending, and let's do a little bit of drawing. So I have two brands here, one from Faber-Castell, one from Sennelier. I've used this one pretty robustly. You can kind of tell that some of the sticks are a little bit shorter, the case is obviously a little bit messier, and these retail for about $16 at my local art supply store, versus something a little more expensive, something a little more bougie. We have the Sennelier oil pastels, and these retail for about $80 for a 24 pack compared to 16. So definitely a step up in price. The first look at a new set of oil pastels. Oh, they're all gorgeous. At first glance, it does look like the color range is pretty similar, but you could totally tell that these are a little bit more vibrant. I just know from firsthand experience that they're a little softer as well. Like even the weight of these two feel a little bit different. They're both soft pastels as well. Oh, and I forgot to add, I wanted just a few extra colors. So I bought an extra green and two purples just to supplement some of my drawings. So, well, let's do some swatches.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, it's VoiceOver Blake, and just giving you a little bit of insight to what was going through my mind as I was swatching. The Faber-Castell oil pastels were definitely a little harder, a little waxier than the Sennelier pastels. I think this has to do with their ratio of like binder to pigment to oil. Could not tell you exactly what those ratios are, but you could totally tell the Sennelier pastels were much softer, much more reactive to kind of body temperature, while the Faber-Castell pastels were a little bit harder, maybe a step below kind of your wax crayons that you could find anywhere, whether that's Crayola or an off-brand. And they were not as reactive to temperature and were much harder to blend either with my finger or even with a Q-tip. However, both sets were really vibrant in their colors, as well as super opaque, at least on a white piece of paper. So there is some comparisons, but you could totally tell the quality kind of took an upgrade with the Sennelier. I used these Faber-Castell pastels in a previous Peachtober challenge, which is a month-long drawing, painting, art creation challenge over on Instagram. And so I was definitely familiar with how these pastels worked, how they blended, which kind of gave me a little bit of a leg up in terms of my plan of attack for this little drawing of some cutie oranges. But I still kind of fell into some of the struggles that I had originally about a year ago when I first got them. They're definitely difficult to blend, and there's a double-edged sword that these pastels are a little chunkier, which makes fine detail work hard without an additional tool. However, I do like that you can kind of be a little more rough with them. You can kind of treat them as big old crayons and especially at the price point, I'm not worried about snapping one in half on accident. So, you know, pros and cons, pros and cons. But overall, you can definitely tell that these are maybe more of a student grade pastel versus the Sennelier pastels that you'll see me draw with in just a second. Now, when I tell you that these pastels were really in a different league compared to the previous set that I used, I'm not lying. They were juicier, they were softer, the white was way more opaque than the Faber-Castell set had. And so it was just a lot easier to kind of make those really exciting gradual blends that give shape and form to these little tomatoes here that I have on my piece of paper. I'm a big believer that you don't really need expensive tools to create amazing artwork and have fun and stay creative, but it really does help sometimes, especially when you're looking to upgrade from a more affordable art material into something a little more professional quality. However, I still had a great time drawing both of these, and I think there are pros and cons to each. So I guess that's me sitting on the fence saying, buy the Sennelier pastels if you want to upgrade, but don't worry too much about quality when you're just starting out. So you can totally just tell by the quality of the blending, by how vibrant the colors are, and I know they're not the same image, they just, I mean, this one looks a little bit darker, looks a little bit rougher, versus this one has nice smooth blending. I was able to use these Q-tips much easier for this drawing versus Miss Orange drawing up here. So there we have our two little fruit still life drawings. Which one do you like better? Which one do you think is more vibrant? What are the juicier colors? I don't know, they both look good, but you can tell that there's just a very different quality to the pigment, to the binder, to the material. But I will say the only thing that the Sennelier pastels are missing is more pinks. So that just means I have to go out and get more colors to fill in the blanks, obviously. I still will have to go out and find a few pinks that I can use for something like this. So at the end of the day, I think Miss Sennelier kicks the butt of the Faber-Castell oil pastels. And I mean, the price reflects that. So if you're on a budget, I don't think it's gonna be the end of the world if you start with some Faber-Castell or even some cheaper oil pastels. But when you're ready to take the leap up, like I am, I 100% recommend spending a little bit more money for a little bit nicer quality materials. Well, let me know if you have any questions. What do you want to see me review next? I got this little pack of oil pastels from Giverny in France when I went and visited Monet's house. And they have this really fun speckled texture and color. So do you want me to do a little gift shop oil pastel video? I don't know, tell me what you want to do next. Remember to like and subscribe the video. I will see you all next time.